'Twas the night before Christmas, and somewhere in this city, poor old St. Nicholas was feeling quite shitty. Mrs. Claus had walked out, said they needed a break. But Santa just said, "What kind of fool do I make?" So he snatched up her phone and he went for the door. Santa wasn't going to be fooled by just some fucking whore. He was tired and upset and well beyond reason. So when's the season of giving? Now the ass-kicking season. He would go to Los Santos, he would prove he wasn't wrong. He would search through the city and find this guy Ron, with a little liquid courage and a brand new car in red. He would fix his broken marriage by killing her lover dead. Sure, it makes little sense to those of you at home, but Santa had still swiped up Mrs. Claus' phone. She had no password, and there in recent calls was a man named only Ron sexting with Mrs. Claus. St. Nicholas had been proven. Yes, St. Nicholas was right, but St. Nicholas was quite drunk. It was going to be a long night. When Santa came to, all he heard was a horn. Little did Santa know that her life had been torn. Though not so right now, she was beautiful, kind, and dear. But with a 60-mile-per-hour collision, Santa could see it was quite clear. It was quite his fault, and he'd have to pay. But at this very moment, Santa was drunk, so they say. Destroy the evidence, leave not a trace, and farewell to her kindness and her once beautiful face. But Santa was seen, the day had only begun, and our poor friend St. Nick would now have to run. The bodyguards, driving slow to let her ride, had seen Santa ignite the vehicle, with her still inside. They tried to stop him, but with no avail. All that was left was his car's tire trail. And Dalrin was, as many would say, not so kind or so dear, yet love finds a way. His wife was so wonderful, their life so full and complete, yet now it was cut short by some drunk man off the street. He put out a price, and it was quite high, for the fat man's head, but he would just not die. He would be beaten and bruised, and dragged back to Indalrin's feet, where Indalrin had planned. His own balls he would eat. But our old Saint Nick, quick as a flash, proved harder to kill, and adept at kicking ass. One by one they all fell, but even Santa could see, to keep this all up is well beyond me. With no liquid courage, and no end in sight, Santa planned out an attack to get him through the night. He'd hide his own face, with a clever disguise. He'd walk up to Indalrin, and right in front of his eyes, he'd put a bullet between them, and then hit the bricks. Farewell to Los Santos and these crazy shits. With most of his men dead, and many out and about, Indalrin needed new bodyguards to defend his interests and clout. So when this masked madman answered the call, he assigned him to, well, the simplest job of all. Go to my yacht, protect it from harm. I'll be there shortly, and come disarmed. We'll talk about your skills among other hopeful new hires, and see if you can fit in my new criminal empire. So Santa did go, but with one little trick, a deagle hidden in his magic sack, next to his metal hip. The search was quite thorough, but not so much as to see that Santa was packing the only helper he'd need. So he waited and waited, with the others on the yacht, until on the horizon, a certain asshole he did spot. Hands were shook, and deals were made. There was even some talk about them getting laid. But Santa just wanted this fateful night to end. So on the back of the yacht, he called out to his new friend. Indalrin, however, was not a very trusting man, and he held a revolver in his other hand. Though Santa, old, but not the worst, used a little Christmas magic and pulled his gun first. And Indalrin, well, just as Santa had said, caught one between the eyes and lay on the deck dead. Then Santa, simply grabbing a shotty from the corpse, laid waste to the yacht and its criminal concourse. And for no real purpose and no real reason, Santa stole the helicopter shouting, "See you next season!" And that, my dear friends, is the story of how Santa quit drinking and divorced that old cow. Merry delayed Christmas, my viewers. So sorry this video came late. My editing software kept crashing. Don't use Camtasia Studios 8. I'm just kidding, Camtasia. You know I love you. You just screw me over all the fucking time. Every single... Holy shit! How long has that fucking been standing there? Anyway, guys. Sorry this video came late, as I said. And, I'll see you guys on the New Year's video. Peace.